Right behind her, making the trip down south from Salt Lake City CrossFit, we have Cassidy Duffield. Next up after Cassidy from Brick LA CrossFit, Chelsea Hughes. Filling in lane number 8 today for CrossFit Works, Leslie Johnson. Arizona's very own product, CrossFit Works, and that is Rochelle Jones. This lady is going to be on the speech transcript from Get Lifted in May 10th, Fernanda Magana. That's good, wasn't it? Lane number 11, Get Lifted. Another athlete, Holly Mana. Lane number 12, Nutriforce Sports Aerial title sponsor athlete, key prize owner, Natalie McLean. And filling in lane number 13 today, we have Lauren Fisher. All my athletes, you got to love this. Get out and look at it. Head judge, August is going to separate us right. August gives us a nice line. We will get a 10-second countdown. Hey guys, we got about a minute.
Hello and welcome to the SICest of the Southwest 2. My name is Luke Kayam and I am joined here by my good friend and host, Amin Woods. Amin, welcome.
Thank you, Luke. Good to be here.
We are super excited to be bringing you all this live action on SICfit.com today. Workout 1 is going to be starting very briefly right behind us. Workout 1 is an 11-minute time cap. 100 double unders is the buy-in with an RX weighted jump rope. From then, they will have any remaining time to do a 5-rep max front squat from the ground. They will then have 2 opportunities to do max effort bar muscle ups. Scoring will work like this: front squat off the ground, 200 pounds. Then 2 rounds of unbroken muscle ups, 10 each. Your score would be 220. Anybody you want to be watching today, whether it's in front or behind the camera, Amin?
You know, especially with Workout 1, it's always fun to watch Danny Nichols. He puts up some big weight. It'll also be interesting to watch some guys like DJ Brimhall and Gabe Swaba, strong guys that also have an engine on them. So
yeah, let's get this action started, and we're going to go behind the camera now and do a little commentary. For those of you guys who are watching this stream from home, you're going to get a much better signal if you are on your computer. However, if you're driving through Yucca Valley in the drive-thru at Del Taco and you're on your iPhone, you may not get clear reception. If you have any questions, you want to ask any of these athletes, coaches, or judges anything today, please ask us on any one of our social media outlets. All right, we are live from the Phoenix Convention Center. This one-day battle of competitive fitness has 540 athletes vying for the titles of SICest of the Southwest and a hefty slice of the $15,000 prize purse sponsored by Nutriforce Sports. We will be bringing you every moment of competitive fitness from push-up to podium. This year is a first for many, including the Pro Division. The Pro Division was a mandatory top 150 in any region qualification. We got the 10-second countdown by Derek Price.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And here we go. Heat 1, Workout 1 of the SICest of the Southwest 2. Holly Mata is in this heat from Get Lifted. Lauren Fisher from CrossFit Invictus is as well.
we got Leslie Johnson, one to watch in lane 8.
And of course, Whitney Capalucci is also in this heat. Some of the top games athletes: Alessandra Pacelli, Christy Phillips, Holly Mata, and of course our very own SICfit ambassador, Danny Nichols, with 2 years of CrossFit Games experience on the team at TJ's gym underneath his belt. Coming to battle in Phoenix for the first time, several athletes, but the returning athlete to watch is last year's champion, Paul Smith, returning to take somebody's lunch money. And the means to get lifted apes will be representing well. Joining me on the floor throughout the day is my co-host and celebrity trainer. I like to call him television extraordinaire, Ammon Woods of The Cell and the Get Gritty Pride team. Athletes are now done with the double unders, moving on to their front squat, which first rep can be done on the squat clean.
And keep in mind, they have as much time as they would like to complete these front squats before they move on to the bar muscle ups.
Yeah, I was just speaking with one of my athletes, Jeff Rifkin, a minute ago, and he said, hey, what do you think about this for a strategy? I'm going to squat clean a rep, and if it feels like it's too light or too easy, I'm not going to do 5. I'm going to dump it. I'm going to add some weight to it, and then I'm going to come back in and do it again. And I said, man, that's great. We didn't even think about that all week long. That is a great strategy. Today's programming by OPT James Fitzgerald, the first winner of the CrossFit Games. James is here behind us, and we'll have him on the show a little bit later in the day. Nutriforce Sports, the title sponsor of the $15,000 prize money. This year we decided to give the top, first and second place winners cash, but third place not so much.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So first place winners will get $3,500 in prize money, second place $1,000, and third place a high five and a smile. Luke, I believe I'm with you that these athletes should earn some money when they come and compete, to help offset training costs, supplements, travel, and really to just help them make a living.
Yeah, if this is going to become a real sport like so many of us want it to be, these athletes are going to have to start getting paid, and it can't just be at the top level. Local events, throwdowns, backyard boogies, whatever you want to call them. These guys got to make some money for coming out here. I know Ryan Fisher, one of my favorite athletes, is out here, and he's staying the night at my house to save some money. That kind of thing helps out. I wish I could have every of the 540 athletes staying at my house, but my wife and my kids wouldn't love that too much. Kimberly just missing that front squat here. We've got 5 minutes in to this first workout, 6 minutes remaining.
Who's this over here?
Becky Clark missing that squat clean off the ground. Lauren Fisher in the back. Lauren Fisher posted a front squat video out of Invictus a few weeks back. 275 pounds.
We got Rachel Jones in lane 9, who's already on her bar muscle ups.
Yeah, we talked to Danny about strategy earlier in the week. Obviously, the point system works. A rep on the muscle up equals a pound on the front squat. So you're better off getting more front squat pounds than wasting energy and time on those bar muscle ups.
Becky Clark in lane 4 has now moved on to muscle ups.
Lauren Fisher, CrossFit Invictus, one of CJ Martin's athletes on the bar. Kimberly Ascardi also having problems on that clean. Leslie Johnson here on her third. Can't quite get that front squat. She's going to move on to the bar muscle ups and see if she can't collect as many reps as possible.
Becky Clark, lane 4, having a field day on the bar muscle ups. Kind of looks like me doing muscle ups. Leslie Johnson just got serious in lane 8. Shirt came off.
You know when the shirt comes off, it just got real.
Derek Price ad-libbing to that as well. SICfit.com is pleased to be the only official media sponsor of the Sickest of the Southwest, competitive fitness, and the Europa Games all season long. Whitney Capalucci biting into that bar, hammering out those bar muscle ups, accumulating as many points as possible.
Got 6 guys.
Kimberly, representing the Human Laboratory. David and Denise Neep are in the house, the Human Lab.
Holly Mata, lane 11, I've got 10 reps.
Leslie Johnson here in front of us. We talked to her last night at the press conference, and she said that she hammered out 30 in practice last week.
Kimberly Azacarde getting ready to start her muscle ups for her first round. Most of these ladies are now resting, waiting for their second attempt at the bar muscle ups.
Natalie McLean, Holly Mata, Fernanda Magna, Rachel Jones, Leslie Johnson, Melissa Jamarino, Chelsea Hughes, Cassidy Duffy, Becky Clark, Brenda Chavez, Whitney Capalucci, and Kimberly Ascarte will be rounding up the first heat of the Sickest of the Southwest 2 live from the Phoenix Convention Center.
We've got Becky Clark on her second attempt at bar muscle ups, taking her time, being smart about it.
90 seconds remaining in Heat 1.
Melissa Jamarino just came off the bar from her second attempt.
Holly Mata, Lauren Fisher.
Please, you have exactly 1 minute.
Fernanda Magna. And Natalie McLean.
We're
40 seconds remaining.
here on lane 5, Cassidy Duffield. Moving on to lane 8, Leslie Johnson's on 7th reps. Lauren Fisher,
20 seconds.
23 total muscle up reps.
Lauren Fisher with 23 points in the muscle up section. And that concludes Heat 1, Workout 1 of the Pro Women's Division. Leslie Johnson hammering out those bar muscle-ups. It is a packed house here at the Phoenix Convention Center. Heat 2, Michelle Plunkett of SICest Scottsdale, Whitney Mindfee, Black Sheep, Kim Olich, Jackie Perez of WFit, Christy Phillips, Alessandra Pacelli placing 4th at the games this year, Amber McLeod, SICFit Ambassador, Tennille Reed, Jennifer Schaefer, Gail Shalou of Full Strength, Samantha Silverman, Taylor Stallings, Megan Sweet, Courtney Valerie, and Heather Walsh.
If you want to see where your athletes place.
Luke, who do you like in this next heat?
Well, I'm going to give you my top 3 females of who I see on the podium at the end of the day. Number 1, I'm going to go with Alessandra Pacelli. Saw her yesterday, got a chance to talk to her. Beast, absolute beast, and as humble as ever. So I don't see any attitudes or egos coming into that. Number 2, I'm going to go with Tennille Reed. And number 3, I'm going to go with Taylor Stallings. That's my top 3 who I see. What about you, Ammon?
You know, I've got a couple of the same. I've got Tennille Reed, Alessandra, and then coming in 3rd, I actually have Leslie Johnson. I think those 3 girls are very capable, although Taylor is a strong pick. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I mean, everything resets in the 3rd workout. The 3rd workout is actually 6 workouts with a round-robin 10-8-6-4-2 champion. So it's anybody's game.
It is. I've never seen anything like that before. Have you?
Phillips. All the way from Diablo's CrossFit to fill in lane number 6 today, Alessandra Pacelli.
We're going to go check the stream, come back, and we'll just start commentary on workouts. Once they change weights.
Lane number 7, SICFit athlete and also CrossFit Solano athlete, Amber McLeod. Get ready to plug your ears. This is a local legend. Lane number 8, Urban Warfit's very own Tennille Reed. Lane number 9 from GTX.
As the girls come out here, you're going to want to watch a couple key athletes. Alessandra in lane 6, Tennille Reed in lane 8, Christy Phillips in lane 5, and Jackie Perez, WFit athlete, in lane 4.
It's going to be CrossFit Works' very own Samantha Silverman. Box Tribe sent an athlete over.
I was actually talking to Alessandra yesterday during the press conference and asking her if the nerves ever went away. And she said, you know, after every event it always feels good to be done, but those nerves never actually stop. So we talked about being like a duck on water. Everything looks calm and collected on the surface, but you got the nerves running 1,000 miles an hour afterward.
Taking the trip all the way down from the north.
She takes those nerves and runs 1,000 miles an hour with them, right?
Valerie.
You know, you've got Gail Shalou here in lane 10. Gail is a regional athlete, competitor, owner of CrossFit Full Strength. One of my very first open workouts I did at her gym back in the day. It was 7 minutes of burpees. I think everybody remembers that one, that little piece of hell. And Gail went absolutely crazy. I thought she was going to catch on fire. I was almost distracted from doing my burpees. At least that's my excuse for extra rest.
And this is Stacy with SICFit as well, and we also have Taylor Stallings. She's out here in lane 12. Taylor has a background in powerlifting and also a collegiate thrower. I asked her yesterday what her favorite lift was, and she said to me, anything heavy. Also in lane 11 is Samantha Silverman from CrossFit Works down in Tucson, part of that CrossFit Works crew with Chris Gartrell. I talked to her yesterday about coming out of the Olympic Training Center, as she's been focusing a lot on her Olympic lifting technique and getting back into this sport. She's talking about how it feels good to get back into this particular sport, and she's going to continue to use everything she learns here and help her out with her lifting.
Before we get this going, let's get heat number 3 dialed in and ready. Heat number 3, it's time to check in.
Judges are giving the signal. We're getting ready to start Heat 2 of the Women's Pro Division.
All right, here we go. 10-second countdown in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, here we go. Heat number 2, Pro Women's. This is by far the most exciting heat, I think, of both the men, the women, teams, all of it. This is definitely the heat that I like watching. Our very own Michelle Plunkett, of course, Amber McLeod. But then you got some of the big dogs. You got Gail Shalhoub, who's been a vet, who's been doing this for a long time. Samantha Silverman, Taylor Stallings, Megan Sweet. And of course, the new entry that came out of nowhere, Jackie Perez, who's representing WFIT here today, on top of Alessandra Pacelli.
Yeah, this is an exciting heat, a lot of power in this heat. It'll be interesting to see how heavy they go and how many muscle-ups we get out of these girls.
I'm going to bring in Stacy Snyder, our female analyst of the day. Stacy, how are you?
Fantastic, Luke. So excited to be here. Watching double unders is actually one of my favorite things to do. There's something about the sound of that rope that is just music to me. So it's always interesting to see what the technique is, if they're going to break these 100 into sets, if they're going to try to power through it. Watching the different technique is always a key indicator of whether or not these athletes are going to work on working and resting or what they're going to do for the event.
Yeah, Gail Shalhoub, the first one out, done with her double unders. Megan Sweet still working on hers. Tennille Reed done. Alessandra Pacelli done as well.
CrossFit full strength in lane 10.
We're going to focus here on Tennille Reed for a moment. Tennille's in my top 3. We are just about 2 minutes in, so we kind of factored practicing these workouts with some of our athletes. 100 double unders taking right around 90 seconds or so. By the time they get ready to lift, first clean, they should be about that 2.5 minute mark.
A few of these girls coming out at 185. Tennille Reed loading it up, 185, going 195 out of the gate.
Yeah, these are men's bars. We are using all men's bars for this event. I don't know how much practice these ladies have had, but most competitions these days are going to have men-only bars, a little bit thicker diameter. Stacy, how do you feel about using a men's bar?
You know, it's an interesting thing because at the gym that I go to and work out at, that's all we have. So you have to get your hands used to that grip. So for me, it would be something that would be very familiar, but a lot of these ladies that have been used to using something like a Bella bar, it's going to be rough to get your hands used to that grip. So it might have an effect on them being able to get up out of that front squat.
165 over here in lane 10.
First rep being allowed on the clean, squat clean. Tennille moving her weight through rep 3.
Jackie Perez missing her first one. At this second attempt, she seems to be has it going and moving through reps.
Behind me, I got Taylor Stallings. Remember, Ammon, when I told you that she said her favorite lift was anything heavy? This is that moment. She's through that set like it is nothing.
I think she smiled through all of those reps. Let's see what she loads up next on the bar.
Looks like lane number 13.
Looks like she's reaching for at least 225.
She's looking at that weight. Right behind her, lane 15, Heather Wilson on one of the 95.
Samantha Silverman in lane 11. Working through her set. Let's see if she can get it. And she got it.
She's going to have to work a little where she already got 195. Looks like she's going to move it up to 205. Really ready. Knocking out her weight.
If you're watching on SICfit.com, you've got Taylor Stallings out there in the back in lane 12, attempting 225 and moving through it like it is nothing. Unbelievable. So strong.
Feast your eyes on Taylor Stallings, box card at 225 pounds.
She made that look easy. Let's see what she puts on the bar next.
Okay, she's good.
Jackie Perez just finishing a set here in lane 4, taking a quick rest. Gail Shalou, lane 10, finishing her set of front squats.
I love watching Gail at all these events. She is absolutely not a novice to any sort of these competitions. In fact, I have seen her at several Olympic lifting meets step in and snatch some big weight, clean and jerk some big weight. So she might be quiet and small, but there is nothing about her that is not incredibly strong.
Absolutely.
Your eyes on lane number 12, attempting 235 pounds for 5 reps of
Alessandra Pacelli here at 235. Almost completing the 5-rep cycle.
cheer on, guys. That's a lot of weight.
One more to go. Excellent. Taylor Stallings making lightweight of those front squats.
Well, I guess it's a good thing I'm playing MC today because there's a lot of weight being thrown around.
Excellent lift by Taylor.
Ladies on the bars over there working their way through muscle ups. Jackie Perez.
Jackie Perez moving on to the bar, as well as Tennille Reed.
Samantha Silverman's over there, lane number 11.
We're going to focus in on Jackie for a moment. Jackie, a W-Fit athlete, joining the team. Michelle Plunkett getting ready to hit that muscle up as well. Becky Clark still working her front squats.
Lane 12, Taylor Stallings. Let's see what she can do.
Up.
235 on the front squat.
Excuse me, Christy Phillips successfully finishing her 5 reps at 205 pounds. Amber McLeod, SICfit ambassador, catching deep. Can't quite get up 165. Alessandra Pacelli now getting on the bar. August Schmidt reinforcing the standard of not resting at the top of the bar. Two minutes remaining in the final women's heat number 2 of the pro division. 11 minutes to find your 5-rep max front squat, plus 2 unbroken bar muscle up sets, 4 points. Looks like Gail Shalou is done. She might give it one more run. Alessandra Pacelli finishing up her first set. These are your pro women. Heat number 2, Michelle Plunkett, Whitney Mindfee, Kim Olich, Jackie Perez, Christy Phillips, Alessandra Pacelli, Amber McLeod, Tennille Reed, Jennifer Schaefer, Gail Shalou, Samantha Silverman, Taylor Stallings, Megan Sweet, Courtney Valerie, and Heather Welsh. Tennille on her second round of bar muscle-ups.
Luke, is Taylor here going to try some muscle-ups, or is that weight big enough that she doesn't need to do any?
And they stay caught attempting to rest on top of their neck. They will be no rest. Jackie Perez trying to score 16 total reps. Well played, Jackie. You got about 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, yep. All right, SICest Nation, we are back. Part of streaming live is dealing with the capabilities and incapabilities of the wire and the wireless streams. There's over 10,000 people here in the convention center, all trying to upload videos and post comments to Facebook. So we will be working all day long to give you the highest level of streaming service competitive fitness. Ammon, how's it going? You ready to watch some of these guys?
I am. I'm really ready to watch some of these guys. We've got some big, strong guys in these heats. We've got Andrew Cifelli, who always puts up big weight. We've got DJ Brimhall, who again I have in my top 3. Moses Cadorva, an OPT athlete. And Ryan Fisher, crowd favorite, also in my top 3. Luke, what about you in this heat? Who do you got?
Well, my top 3 goes like this. Number 1, Danny Nichols. Number 2, Paul Smith. And number 3, Ryan Fisher. That's who I see my top 3 for the podium. But who knows? We'll see what happens with this first workout.
We'll have live scoring throughout the day here. You can see that at SICfit.com. So far we have in the women's division, Taylor Stallings with 342 points. Whitney Capicelli with 332 points. Lauren Fisher in third place with 328 points. The men are getting ready, doing warm-up, waiting for the coach or waiting for the judges to give them some final instructions, and we'll get started.
All right, Heat 1 of the men's pro division, Heat 3 overall. Lauren Adams, Justin Arens, AJ Bales, Blake Bastian, DJ Brimhall, Chris Brown, Matthew Bryant, Andrew Cifelli, Chad Cole, Moses Cordova, Charles DeShines, Justin Dixon, Justin Fallon, my man Ryan Fisher, and Casey Marble. 10-second countdown. The weights are gonna get big here.
Luke, what's the strategy here? Do you take your time on the double unders, leaving yourself plenty of wind for the big lift? Or do you just get the double unders out of the way as fast as you can and use your rest as you load your weights?
These guys are pros. 100 double unders should not affect their engine whatsoever. Knock out the 100, put the plates on, and then rest. Talking to some of my athletes, Chris Tomarillo and Jeff Rifkin earlier in the week, we talked about strategies. The double under wasn't even a thought process in the strategy.
So what you're saying is they're not as old as me, and 100 double unders doesn't make them winded.
We've been talking a lot about age the last 2 days, so Moses Cordova, first one done with double unders, loading up his weight. Jade. Here we go, pro men's, big time. Talking to Danny Nichols, strongest functional fitness competitive athlete on the planet. He said he won't go over 395 pounds. We'll see if anybody else can come close.
It looks like Moses started to load up his weights and is going back to double unders.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a split that he had planned. Didn't even know that was a possibility, but hey, he might have split them up, loaded up the weight, and then came back to him to save some of his motor.
Interesting strategy. These competitions are all about strategy.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about strength versus strategy here in a moment. Moses opening up at 325. Chad Cole knocking out 225 to get it one and done. That's the safe clean, the safe front squat. Lauren Adams, 245 pounds.
Blake Bastion coming out at 315. Moses over there making 335 look easy.
Yeah, strong kid. Gotten to know him real well this past year, and he is amazingly strong. 335 pounds clear. Stacy, watching the guys, how different is the contrast from female to male? Much different.
It's a little different, Luke. It's amazing to see what we strive for in terms of deadlift is what they're doing on front squat. So we work hard to get to a 300 club just to lift dead weight off the ground a couple of feet, and these guys are repping out sets of 5 at things that we acquire for our entire lives. So yeah, the contrast is pretty extreme.
$15,000 in prize money today. Sponsored by Nutriforce Sports, one hell of a payday. I'd like to take this moment and thank Nutriforce Sports for its contribution to competitive fitness. Lauren Adams digging deep at 265. Got to keep pushing those knees out. Lauren deemed the real Captain America last night because he's delivered over 7 babies and 2 puppies. Lauren clears 265. Moses gonna try 355.
Justin Allen, CrossFit Warrior. 295 out of 913.
Blake Bastion, 335 as well. Moses having no problem with those front squats. Andrew Cifelli, 305. Excuse me, 295. We are 5.5 minutes in. There goes DJ. That's your top choice. Hitting 295.
I talked to DJ a little bit earlier, and he knows he's not as strong as some of these guys, so his points won't stack up as fast in this first event. But with the third event being anybody's game, he's hoping to just make it to there and then outgas everybody. Luke, this event keeps getting bigger and bigger. Where do you see the sport of competitive fitness going, and where is SICFit taking it?
Well, we've already decided to double the dates next year. We will have 2 days at the SICest of the Southwest 3 in October 2014. We got 540 athletes competing here today. I'm hoping for over 1,000 this time next year. Of course, SICFit will also be bringing you all the media for all 4 Europa Games show, Orlando, Hartford, Dallas, and here in Phoenix. Not to mention our new marquee event. I call it Pushing in Paradise. June 7th and 8th from the beaches of Ka'anapali, Maui, we will be hosting SICest of the Pacific Islands. Moses Cordova pushing 375 pounds. $375. My goodness. And now the shirt comes off. Here we go, Mo. His coach, James Fitzgerald, looking on from the sidelines. James is programming OPT CCP, such a huge contributor to our sport. Not to mention the very first CrossFit Games champion, James OPT Fitzgerald.
Got lots of guys on the bars now doing muscle-ups. We've got Lauren Adams in lane 1. We've got AJ Bales in lane 3. Lane 7, Matthew Bryant. Lane 8, Andrew Cifelli. Down at the other end, lane 9, Chad Cole. Lane 12, Justin Dixon. And next to Justin, we've got Ryan down there. And 13, we've got Justin Fallon. Stacy, what kind of numbers do you expect to see on these bar muscle-ups?
You know, Ammon, it's an interesting question. It's hard to predict because after they're coming off the front squat and they've been using so much of that energy and force to move big weight, the question is are they going to have what's left in the tank to get him up and down that bar quickly? I expect big things from Moses Cordova. He tends to fly through body weight movements like this. I wouldn't be surprised to see Andrew Cifelli step up and hit some big numbers. There's also a dark horse out there, Charles Deshane, coming to us from Allied CrossFit. Charles has been working really hard to get everything up to that super pro level. I know he has some big expectations and he's one to watch. So I'd pay attention to Charlie out there too.
Moses Cordova, 10 muscle-ups on his first round of muscle-ups. Charles Deshane, lane 11, still up on the bar, moving through those muscle-ups. Got 1 minute left here in this first round.
Ammon, you're no stranger to muscle-ups, and we've got the ring muscle-up and then the bar muscle-up. So for you, which one do you prefer? What's the strategy and technique to both of these?
You know, Stacy, I say this quite a bit. I think it's whichever one you learned on first becomes the easier one for you. Forever, I didn't have rings in my garage, so I learned on the bar. So for me, bar muscle-ups are a lot easier, and I'm a lot more proficient at them.
15 seconds.
10 seconds left in this workout. And it looks like we're done.
Competing at CrossFit Forever Strong Men's Pro, lane number 3, Trevor Gelder.
So Stacy, the sport of competitive fitness is here to stay. Later on, we're going to do an interview with a young girl, youth athlete, Kylie Price, who's actually jumping into this sport full-time. She's leaving club swimming. She's competed in a couple competitions, most recently out in Southern California, and is planning on making a career out of this. What have you seen? be a lot. She must have a ton of muscle.
She plays 13.
Please shake it out. You got 2.5 minutes before you start. Shake it out.
Tony.
Okay, as we prepare here for the men's pro second heat, Stacy, you know, competitive fitness is here to stay. As proof of that, we've got a young athlete that we're going to interview later, Kylie Price, who is actually planning on making a career out of this. She is leaving swimming. She's been a swimmer. She's leaving swimming and jumping into this full time. She's competed in a couple of competitions recently, most recently last weekend out in California, where she placed very well. What are you seeing in the within the sport, and what are your thoughts?
And I see the same thing. A couple of athletes that I work with and train are only 17 years old, and they're leaving long careers playing softball, playing volleyball, and getting into this particular sport full time. It's changing the way that athletes are working on. Instead of working toward a certain bias, they're going far more over every different field, every different piece of this that they can, from Olympic lifting to gymnastics, getting involved in a ton of mobility. We're going to see a couple of these young guys out here even today. Gabe Swaba is 19 years old on the floor right now, is the kid from SICest Scottsdale, Austin, also 19 years old. They're taking these things and running with it. So to see what's happening from a young perspective, moving all the way up into master's level, this sport is definitely taking over.
Thanks, Stacy. Is Austin even old enough to drive himself here?
His mom's here too, so I think maybe they carpooled.
Okay, so Austin will be one to watch in this heat. He'll be in lane 4 from SICest Scottsdale, SICest ambassador. We also have Christopher Gatrell in lane 2 from CrossFit Works, also a SICest ambassador. Kavika Henderson, SICest ambassador, lane number 9. Kavika has a football background. It's been interesting to watch him over the last few months, over the last year, as he's tried to jump into this sport full time.
He's also taken that background over to Dysart High School, and now he is the strength and conditioning coach. So he's taking everything that he's learned and molding that football team into a bunch of machines.
We've got the final countdown, and this heat is underway.
3, 2, 1.
So lots of these guys following in the shoes of Moses. They're doing some double unders, then they're beginning to load their weights, and then going back to the double unders. Interesting strategy. So that makes Moses a trendsetter.
There's probably going to be an over-under on the number of words that Moses uses. Like the press conference yesterday, he is a man of few words. He likes to show what he's all about instead. So I think that he would like being a trendsetter. So I think that's right up his alley.
That guy is so mellow. I checked his pulse 2 or 3 times under the table during the interview. I asked him what he does if he ever gets what he does to get himself jacked up for a competition, and he says he does like 1 chest beat, and he's ready to go. So from 0 to 90 in no time at all. So Heat 4 here, still working through their double unders, loading up weights, getting ready to do their first pulls from the ground. These guys can drop into a squat clean for their first rep. We've got Steve Flores in lane 1, Christopher Gatrell, lane 2, Trevor Gelder, lane 3, Austin Groen, lane 4, Jamie Handley in lane 5, Dallas Hott, local boy, lane 6, Sean Hazelton, lane 7, Josh Heck out of CrossFit Solutions, lane 8, Kavika Henderson, lane 9, Michael Hernandez, 10, Brian Holland, 11, Jake Holmberg from CrossFit Blur, lane 12, Robert Huffer, 13, and OPT athlete Colin Jenkins in lane 14.
Michael Hernandez in lane 10, loading up the bar for 295.
We've got Brian Holland in lane 11, a fireman out of CrossFit Encienda. He's got his bar loaded up, 275, pushing through those squats.
Hometown favorite, lane 4, Austin.
His gym, CrossFit Incendia, travels in a pack. You're going to see tons of orange shirts both on the competition floor and all around the event today. So anytime you see orange.
Lane 3, starting up, Trevor Gelder.
Boy Wonder, Austin Groen, SICFit ambassador, loading up his bar, getting ready to do his first set.
Owen Dunn, the cornerback, give it up to 315
Dallas Hott, lane 6, making an attempt at 275 and missing. Chris Gartrell making that look easy. And smiling the whole time.
Chris is also the coach for both Samantha Silverman and Leslie Johnson that you're going to see today. They spend a lot of time making strength kinks, so these sets of 5 should be light work for Chris.
Lane 7, Shane Henderson. We're getting 345 here in lane 7. Shane.
Sean Hazelton in lane 7. Clearing the bar.
Lane 7. Shane Hazelton, 345. I think 345 on the stat. And I'm just waiting for Sean. Sean.
Kavika Henderson missing at his opening weight of 335. On his toes, an issue that we've worked on for quite some time now. Mobility, flexibility. Here goes Austin Groen. Austin Groen coming out of University of San Diego on the full academic scholarship. Trained with us at SICFit Scottsdale for a few years and finally grew up. Well, we'll see how much he's grown up today. Digging in. 255 pounds. Great rack position. There we go, Austin. We're rooting for you. Attaboy. One more. Oh, Kavika gets the clean out at 335. We are 6 minutes in, 5 minutes remaining. And there goes Austin with his signature walk-off. Kavika got that bar up, which we knew would be the hardest thing for him. Once he gets it there, not an issue on the front squat strength. Gartrell right in front of us, pacing back and forth. Currently in first place, Moses Cordova with 493 points. In second, Blake Bastian with 439. And Ryan Fisher, 438 points. Here goes Gartrell, missing out in front.
Lane 7 over here, about to complete 10 reps in the farm. Give it up for him.
Sean Hazelton, lane 7, still on that bar.
Rose, heat 5. Matt Rose. Check in over to athlete check-in, heat 5. Matt Rose.
Pete. Chris Gartrell. This is where he's going to make up a lot of points. Steve Flores here. 3.5 minutes remaining. Austin now on the bar. Kavika, 335 pounds. All athletes have moved on to the bar muscle-ups now. Trevor Gelder making his way over. Trevor making Arizona his home, training out of Forever Strong. 3 minutes remaining.
Chris Gartrell getting his first round of 13 bar muscle-ups. 13.
Men's Heat 3 on deck.
Give it their own. Let's hear it. Give it up.
Jade McLeod getting the crowd hyped up. Josh Heck putting in some work in lane 8.
About 2 minutes and 15 seconds left before the season's time.
Jamie Handley also still holding on to that bar. I've got Olympic gold medalist and legend Dan O'Brien in the house. Dan will be joining us shortly for some commentary.
We got 2 minutes left out. Let's go. Give it all.
Shirts are coming off. Chris Gartrell, another SICFit ambassador. I've been a huge fan of Chris's for a few years now. We first met at the 2009 SoCal sectionals. Gartrell dogging that clock. Owen Duff coming out of Palm Springs. We first saw Owen on the scene at the OC Throwdown 2 years ago. Owen opening up his gym in my hometown, Palm Springs, California, representing that 760. Representing that North End 760. Shout out to all my Gateway friends out there, Palm Springs. What it do, baby? 2 minutes, 1 minute remaining now.
All right, athletes, you got about 50 seconds.
50 seconds, and we still got a lot of guys left on the bar. Obviously, grip is going to be a huge issue here coming off those cleans. Little double under in the beginning, fry that grip, throw in some cleans, and then put them on the bar.
All right, give it up, folks. Last 30.
Chris Gartrell is finished with his muscle-ups. Boy Wonder, Austin, also finished with his muscle-ups. Just a few guys still hanging on the bar. Lane 5, Jamie Handley, still hanging in there.
Sean Hazelton walking off the floor feeling pretty excited.
Lane 10 still on the bar. Michael Hernandez is not giving up until he hears the bell.
Michael Hernandez, the last man on the bar.
4, 3, 2, 1. That's it, folks, for Heat 4. Wrap it up.
Hey. Where's that little? All right, I'm here with my boy, the prodigy. We were giving shouts out to University of San Diego. Obviously, when we first met, you walked in the gym. You told my wife you wanted to compete at the CrossFit Games. You were only 16 now. Then you grew up. You're 18 now. We gave you a shot at it. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good. You know, I had limited time to prepare for it. I was gone all summer, so I'm kind of starting back up from the beginning. But I feel like I went out there and I definitely performed my best. I ran through it, and I actually only hit 245, and I hit 255 this time. So I'm happy with my performance. I did the best I could, left it all out there. So,
Austin, you got a full academic scholarship to the University of San Diego coming out of Brophy High School. What's it been like your first semester?
It's been good. it's a little different, balancing the academics and social life and the training, but I'm working with it, and school's going great. I'm training hard, so.
And you're training on campus. You're training at the University of San Diego Center. You're training with JP. Who's your training partner?
Matt Couch is my coach / training partner right now at CrossFit USD, and he's pushing me. We're training sometimes several times a day. Right now I'm really focusing on strength, so hopefully I'll be ready for the Open and ready to go to regionals this year.
Awesome, Austin. Great luck, brother.
Thanks.
My man Austin Groen here. Knew him when he was 16 years old, and now he's grown up. Full academic scholarship. You got to give a guy like that a shout out. He's not all about the bronze. He's about the brains as well. His mom running out and giving him a hug. Awesome family, awesome group. Out onto the floor. Last year's champion, Paul Smith, walking out.
Coming straight out of CrossFit Infinite Strength. 100 yards, lane number 8, Gabe Swaba. Next to him out of lane 9 out of Allied CrossFit, Thatcher Taylor. Sharing the same last name is going to be lane number 8.
Here comes one of my favorite new athletes out. James Sweet Baby Terminator Taylor. I can see James Fitzgerald smiling out of the corner.
So Luke, we've got big, strong guys in this heat. What's going to win out here, strength or strategy?
Strength or strategy? That's a good question. I'm going to have to go with strength, not only in this workout, but in today's entire events. This is definitely a powerhouse competition. Workout 1, max front squat. The muscle ups are just bonus points, but like Danny said earlier in the show, if you don't need those muscle ups, don't take them. I got a feeling he's going to open up at 350, 375, and he will take workout number 1.
I agree with you. I think Danny's going to come out big, hit a big lift, and he may, if he does do a muscle up, he's just going to pull the bar down.
Once they complete that, they will move on to a set of 5 max weight reps of the front squat. As soon as they're done with their front squat total, they'll move over to the bar where they have 2 attempts at muscle ups. Total reps, total dose, total muscle ups count for your score for game number 1.
So we've got the returning champ, Paul Smith, in this heat as well. Luke, what do we expect to see from him?
Paul has some mobility issues. I know he's torn a bicep tendon. I know he's done some other things. He's had some, issues with his mobility and his range of motion. Former NFL running back for the San Francisco 49ers, so he's pretty bruised up. I know he's gotten these surgeries, but last year, there was a last-minute judge's call by August. You see him talking to Paul now, where Paul actually asked if he could clean the weight. Last year's workout was max clean and jerk. If he could clean it and then put it on his back to jerk it. And at first, August and I talked about it. He said no. And then later on, before the event started, we actually gave him the okay. He ended up winning that event. So think about that. He cleans it to the front rack position. He then baby jerks it onto his back. He then resets and jerks it overhead. So it's an extra step, and we figured, hey, if you go through that extra step and you're still able to get that weight overhead, you might as well get the credit for it. So I expect Paul to do well, but not Danny Nichols well. Danny Nichols is going to take this workout. He is definitely the front runner, and he's a crowd pleaser as well as a crowd favorite. My own man, Chris Tomarillo, is back from shoulder surgery. Chris competed on our CrossFit Scottsdale team, formerly known as CrossFit Scottsdale. We are now SICest Scottsdale, and Chris competed on that regional team 2 years ago. My boy Jeff Riff Daddy Rifkin is also in the house, and of course Reem Shields representing CrossFit Solano. This is a super exciting heat, and I can't wait to watch.
Jeff's hair always looks good. The only thing missing is his diamonds this morning. So we'll watch Jeff, see how he does. We've got Gabe Swaba in this heat as well. Another young guy, big, strong guy, recently hit a new PR.
This is Men's Pro E5. That means guess who's up next, teams? That means you. If you're a team athlete competing SICest Southwest.
This is our last pro event for workout 1. After this, we will take a 15-minute break and reset for the first team workouts.
10 seconds on the board. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
number 1, Jacob Martinez. Lane 2, Chad Melton. Lane number 3, Danny Nichols. Lane number 4, Matt Rhodes. Lane number 5, my boy Jeff Daddy Rifkin. Lane number 6, my other boy from Solano, Reem Shields. Of course, last year's winner in lane 8, Paul Smith. The youngest athlete, Gabe Swaba, Southwest Regional Qualifier. Next to him, Thatcher Taylor. Next to him, James Sweet Baby Terminator Taylor. Behind him, SICest Scottsdale athlete Chris Tomarillo. Next to him, Richard Winger. And last but not least, Rasmus Wisbech. Here we go. Double unders are done. The buy-in is over.
E6, if you're a team athlete, check in. You just check in. You have teams on deck. It'll be your spot. Every one of these guys is going to start at 225 plus.
Stacy, what are we going to see from this group right here? Right now, Moses Cordova sitting in first place. Is he going to drop to the bottom 5? What's going to happen?
I don't know about the bottom 5, but you and I had the fortunate experience of watching Danny Nichols clean and jerk 410 pounds at Octathlon 4.0 just a couple weeks ago. So we're talking about that weight overhead. So from a front squat, I don't know, maybe a tank today could happen, or something like that. I know Gabe Swaba has been working diligently and PRing left and right recently. Right in front here from Urban Warfit and a WFit athlete, Jacob Martinez. He's been throwing up some PRs in his hang snatch. So these guys on the floor are no joke. Reem Shields coming in, one of your boys for sure. Jeff Rifkin, another boy of yours. These guys are training too, and there might be a dark horse out here.
Yeah, I know that having Jeff Rifkin next to Danny Nichols, it's only going to push his game as well. Chad Melton right here. Danny's going to open up at 385 pounds.
I gotta back up.
They're pumping it?
I gotta back up.
Again.
Yeah, we can't lose that. Danny taking his time, but he is opening up at 385, Stacy. What happens, Evan? Let me ask you, what happens if you're an athlete next to Danny and you're loading up 255? Mentally, does that just crush you?
Yeah, Luke, that actually happened to me last year. We had ground overhead. He was directly behind me. I was feeling sort of good about my lift at 275. When I heard all this noise behind me, he opened with all of the weight. I think we only had 365 in our piles. But he did it his first time and then was angry that nobody would share more weight with him. So it does. I was deflated after that.
Paul Smith is starting at 315. Chad Melton, 295.
know, Luke, Danny has said that when he takes his shirt off, he can obviously do about 30% more weight. He's loaded up almost every bumper he has. So when that happens, I'm a little scared to see what happens around him with the crowd.
Yeah, last year, if you guys don't know, he loaded up 395, and there wasn't enough room on the bar. The plates actually fell off, so he had to re-clean and jerk it. And of course, the crowd pleaser that he is, he did that.
Finish his squats and then thrust it.
James OPT Fitzgerald watching on from the side, watching all of his athletes today. 385. I'm pretty sure Danny's going to be one and done on that lift. He might do some bar muscle ups. He's got almost 5 minutes remaining, but I doubt he does another set of 5 front squats. There goes Jeff Rifkin, working at 295.
Danny will actually need to do some muscle-ups if he wants to win this workout. Top score right now, Moses Cordova, 493 is his score, followed by Sean Hazelton, 471, and Kavika, 455.
Attaboy, Jeff Rifkin finishing up 295. I know that was a goal. And he calls that's it. Jacob Marinas also heading over to the bar.
There was Memorial WOD for Kenya not that long ago, and the tiebreaker was Jacob Marinas, Kavika Henderson, and Gabe Swaba in a bar muscle up off. And Jacob did work on that, so it would be impressive to see what he's capable of doing here.
Yeah, he's I guess I could say lighter and smaller, but he's bigger than me now. The kid has blown up the last 24 months. Reem Shields still on the front squat, can't quite get it off the ground. And James Sweet Baby Taylor back there working towards 265.
It looks like Danny's satisfied with that lift. He's making his way over to the bar. Looks like he's going to attempt some bar muscle ups as well.
Yeah, he doesn't need a lot, but an extra 20 points or so would definitely help.
Again, Luke, what's the strategy with that third round being anybody's game? Do you pace yourself? Do you manage the clock, manage your fatigue? You just try to stay in the top 10, or do you try to win every event?
I think you have to win every event. There's not enough events. This isn't regionals. There aren't 9 events over in 3 days. So you got to really take advantage of it. Plus, you got to use the crowd to your advantage. James Fitzgerald cheering on James Sweet Baby Taylor over there. Looks like that might have been a PR for him.
Fantastic. I'm just upset he's not wearing his Oakleys. The Terminator.
What's going on here?
Danny Nichols on those bar muscle-ups now. Reem Shields on there as well. And so is Gabe Swaba. You see a couple different styles, but for the most part, everybody's got a big kip. Hips, knees come up high, and then they transfer that over.
Yeah, every one of those guys is taking that bar almost directly to their belly button. Really using that big hip kip.
Two minutes remaining in the final men's first workout here at the SICest of the Southwest 2, live from the Phoenix Convention Center. SICfit.com will be bringing you all the media, all the action, all day long through photo, video, and live. Paul Smith favoring that left bicep. A minute and 15 seconds remaining. A shout out to Ed and Betty Pariso for putting these Europa events together. And of course, Eric Hillman, the CEO, the man, the myth, the legend of Europa Sports, and just an amazing all-out guy. If more CEOs in the world were like that, this place would be a much better world. Derek Andre in the house. Derek, an athlete at SICest Scottsdale and a good friend of mine. These guys are working hard. That system set up by True Strength Fabrications is definitely holding on. 16 total athletes on the bar muscle ups. Back for our first team workout of the day. 4 athletes, 2 males, 2 females. Athletes must go in order and stay in that order. Each athlete must complete all of their part of the workout before high-fiving their teammate and moving on. Workout 1 of the team, part A, 4 rounds. 5 deadlifts, 155 pounds, and 10 burpees over barbell. Part B, 4 rounds, 3 squat cleans at 155 and 10 pull-ups. Part C, 4 rounds of 5 deadlifts at 155 and 15 hand release push-ups. And Part D, 4 rounds of 5 deadlifts at 155 and 10 pull-ups. Stacy, what do you think about a workout that has the same weight for both men and women, but there's also some strategy here to see who does what?
Luke, there's absolutely strategy. This event, SICest of the Southwest 2, is a marquee event, mostly for local athletes. So the interesting part about this is that some of these teams out here have actually run some auditions, some trials to see which athlete is going to do which part of this workout. Those that are strong, or you're going to find them to be up here on the deadlifts, it's going to be different to see how things work out. Those squat cleans are going to be one of the more challenging movements, and for that weight to be same between men and women both, I wouldn't be surprised to see most of the guys take over this part of the activity.
Stacy, this is Ammon, SICfit.com. This was a fun workout to actually pick teams for, looking at our gym and looking at who has what strengths and sort of tailoring the team around these workouts. So I think you'll see most of these people doing things that they are strong at. Giving you a quick update from the men's pros. We've got Danny Nichols in first place with 5:01, Moses Cordova 4:93 in second, and Sean Hazelton 4:71 in third place. East Valley CrossFit moving to the squat cleans.
East Valley CrossFit is notoriously a strong team. They usually have 1-2 teams competing in local events. They also had a team head off to regionals this year. I wouldn't be surprised to see East Valley make light work of these movements today. In Heat 1, we have East Valley CrossFit. Lane 2, CrossFit Convey. Lane 3, SICest Scottsdale. Lane 4, CrossFit Preferred. Lane 5 is CrossFit Now. Lane 6, home of Kavika Henderson and SICfit Ambassador, CrossFit Surprise. Lane 7 is Core CrossFit. Lane 8 is the Leap Time Army. Lane 9, headed up by owner Andrew Cifelli, is CrossFit Solution. Lane 10 is Havasu CrossFit. Lane 11, CrossFit Arizona. Lane 12, Desert Valley. Lane 13, Free Range CrossFit. Lane 14, another team with Core CrossFit. And Lane 15, CrossFit Northwest Tucson.
You've got Jake Brown in lane 4, just finishing his squat cleans, moving back to the pull-ups. Jake Brown is also a SEALFIT Kokoro graduate. Desert Valley CrossFit currently in the lead.
After these push-ups.
SICest Scottsdale now on the deadlifts and hand release push-ups. Luke, your team moving through this pretty well. What was the strategy for your team going into this?
You know, this is our intermediate team, so I worked a lot with them the last couple weeks, and it really was who could do what best. Obviously, some of our athletes have different strengths and weaknesses, but we practice it about 4 different ways, every way possible, and this was by far the best strategy so far. You know, the cool part about this workout is that it's the same weight across the board. I like that. Same bar, same weight, nothing different for the guys or the girls. You just have to decide what movement you're going to do. And, of course, what order you're going to do it in.
Strategy is often a key with any of these movements. So whether it's an individual movement, we saw even in the pro event where they were breaking up the double unders and then moving on to the front squats. Strategy is a key component to a lot of what's happening out here today.
He's now going to switch to the
CJ with SICest Scottsdale on the push-ups, almost done with 1 athlete remaining. Core CrossFit, CrossFit Blur. And Desert CrossFit also bringing a team out here as well, representing that 760.
I'm impressed to see these girls take on these deadlifts. This is not the lightest weight for some of these ladies, and they're blowing through it like it's nothing at all. So it's interesting to see how they've been working over time and how these ladies are making this look like they can just hang with anybody now. Hand release push-ups are always an interesting choice. You have to make sure that your hands are released at the bottom. So we're watching these judges, very carefully watching the hands. The judges right now are absolutely outstanding. Checking to make sure on the pull-ups that the chin is up and over the bar, making sure that hips are fully extended at the top of those deadlifts and that everything is clean.
Yeah, standards play such a huge part and role in this sport. We made it very clear when we held this event first time last year that we would have a head judge, someone with experience like August Schmidt, and we would hold the athletes and judges to these standards. There goes easy. Elizabeth Zapata representing SICest Scottsdale.
9 minutes and 15 seconds.
CrossFit Preferred and the WFit team. CrossFit Now. CrossFit Surprise. Leaf Time Army. CrossFit Solution. Havasu CrossFit representing the pink and supporting Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. Free Range CrossFit. Desert Valley. Core CrossFit and CrossFit Northwest Tucson.
Action on that first turn was 9-11. Andrew Augustiniak, he's another one of our local competitors. He's flying through the fourth turn on his butterflies at 4. CrossFit Preferred.
This workout's moving fast. Again, each team member has a separate thing that they have to do, and they have to complete it before the next team member can start their task. CrossFit Havasu down there in the pink, moving through their last set of deadlifts.
Plenty of time left on the clock. We just passed through 11 minutes. 4 minutes left to go.
4 minutes left in this competition, in this heat.
That's a beautiful bar work over there in lane 14. Certainly took it up in one of the most great goes easy.
Core CrossFit is on pull-ups. SICest Scottsdale also on pull-ups. East Valley CrossFit moving to pull-ups as well.
Just a reminder to our judges, you are catching a time for your key finish off of the official time clock. Make sure you eyes on the right
Got CrossFit Now wearing the muscle pants. I'm going to go ahead and give them the award for best dressed. Very bold, very bold. I need to get a pair of those. East Valley CrossFit making quick work of those deadlifts. Team still getting ready to finish up. We've got East Valley CrossFit, SICest Scottsdale, CrossFit Convey still working through it. Core CrossFit. Havasu just finishing. Their final member just finished.
Emma, let's talk about what's happening on the pull-up rig right now. These athletes have been putting everything out there. Adrenaline is going crazy. We're watching them sort of slow down. So from the coaching perspective, what kind of cue would you give to these athletes to dig deep and keep going?
You know, this is one where they would have had to save their grip as much as they could on the deadlift, right? This is a grip smoker for sure. So I probably would have had them play around with their grip on the deadlifts, either a hook grip or even using what I call a Harley grip, where you get into it, wrap your hands, wind them way up around it before you start to do your deadlifts. Maybe even a switch grip. And if you're completely smoked, you can always go to a switch grip on the pull-ups as well if you need to. So definitely a smoker. My forearms are hurting just looking at it. Got a few teams here just finishing up. Again, in lane 2, we've got CrossFit Convoy. We've got Fancy Pants in lane 5, CrossFit Now. Lane 7, also Core CrossFit. Lane 13, just finishing up down there at the end, Free Range CrossFit. Free Range CrossFit is owned by Matthew Lucas, who also owns and runs the Foodie Project. If you haven't checked out the Foodie Project, thefoodie.com. Got about 5 seconds left in this 15-minute time cap. And that will do it for our first heat of intermediate. Welcome back to SICfit.com. This is the broadcast of the SICest of the Southwest 2, the fourth and final stop in the Europa Games Tour. We've got over 540 athletes competing for their share of $15,000 in prize money. What you're watching right now is the second heat of the intermediate teams. So far, the scoring looks like for the intermediate teams: Lifetime Army 307 in first place with a time of 9:11. Team Desert Valley 311 with a time of 9:13, And in third place, CrossFit Solutions with a time of 9:26. In this heat, we've got Allied CrossFit in lane 1, Havasu CrossFit in lane 2, CrossFit Forever Strong lane 3, CrossFit Now lane 4, CrossFit Surprise lane 5, CrossFit Magna lane 6, 2 teams from CrossFit 623 in lanes 7 and 8, CrossFit Arms lane 9, another team from CrossFit Forever Strong in lane 10, CrossFit Magna lane 11, CrossFit Lifetime Fitness in lane 12, East Valley, another team from East Valley in lane 13, Get Lifted lane 14, and CrossFit Now in lane 15.
All right, Ammon, I am here with Olympic gold medalist in the decathlon, 1996 winner Dan O'Brien. Dan, welcome to SICest.
Hey, thanks. It's great to be here. This is a great event. I didn't realize this event was going to be quite this big. I go to a lot of fitness shows. I've been to Ursa Club Industry, big shows like this, and this show's very respectable. I love the fact that it's not just vendors. It's competitions going on around the outside of this venue, and to be here and watching these guys be energized like this is pretty exciting.
Yeah, 540 athletes participating today in one day. We had the pleasure of going to all 4 Europa shows across the country this year: Orlando, Hartford, Dallas, and now Phoenix. And looking at the size of the crowd, we won't know numbers till later on in the week. There's more people here right now watching this sport than any of the other venues and shows. So I'm excited to be a part of that as well.
Well, Phoenix, Arizona is really well known for people participating in their physical activities, a lot of hiking, biking, running, and especially cross-training and swimming here in the valley goes on. So I figured it was going to be a pretty good turnout for an event like this here in Phoenix.
Yeah, next year we're going to have 2 days, so the goal is 1,000 people competing, and that's just in our sport alone. Of course, you have powerlifting and gymnastics and karate going on the other side of the convention center. Dan, we met a couple weeks ago at the Optathlon, and I got to know you a little bit more throughout the weeks. I want to talk to you a little bit about politics in sports, not only in the Olympic sports, but in all of sports. Obviously, they're there, and in competitive fitness, we're starting to see that as well. So what have you had to deal with in your fitness career from a political standpoint?
Well, I actually came into the Olympic sports shortly after they abolished the amateur athlete rule. Okay, for a lot of years, athletes couldn't make any money from endorsements and still keep their amateur status. You had to be an amateur athlete to compete in the Olympic Games. Now that amateur status is been abolished, we're all labeled, quote, professional athletes when you accept money. Whether you're a gymnast, a figure skater, a track and field athlete, you can accept money and compete at the Olympic Games. And so, from a political standpoint, the Olympics has really gone through a big evolution. But there are those who still believe that a lot of these athletes shouldn't be paid. But the Olympics, it's so big, it's making so much money, we've had to find a way to get the athletes in on that payday.
What do you think about college athletes? Do you think they deserve to get paid?
I think my ideas on that are changing a little bit. We're seeing reasons that maybe they should be paid. I don't like the rules as it stands now because a college athlete can't even have a job on the side to get paid. So I think some rule changes are definitely going to come into play.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in the politics of this sport. We had a pretty big athlete that was coming out here to compete with us, Andrea Ager. She actually stayed the night as my guest at our house last year. And Dave Castro, one of the producers of the CrossFit Games, called her and actually threatened to pull her from the HQ training staff if she came out here and competed. And it's a sad day in our sport when we see something like that happen. Obviously, she's a big name. A lot of people want to see her compete. You know, more importantly, she's a friend of mine, and I would have liked to have seen her at least win some money. There's $3,500 on the line, and unless we do something about it, that kind of cancer is going to continue in this sport.
Yeah, you know, that is too bad. It's interesting. You talk about CrossFit. They, you know, whether they threatened her status or her ability to make more money, and from a sponsorship standpoint, to not compete here. You know, that can't happen, and I guarantee that won't happen in the future as long as these opportunities continue to arise. When you have prize money, when you have sponsorship opportunities, those athletes are going to be able to, you know, move away from CrossFit and compete in other events. You know, you see a lot of things like that go down in cycling events, or European track meets. Compete in my event and not in somebody else's for whatever reason. But as long as your participation numbers are high, you can combat that.
Yeah, and you know what? We stood our ground. We were a very active CrossFit affiliate for 5 years in good standing. We brought a lot of people along with us, and we spread the word. But the affiliation program, the business of CrossFit, has some issues to it, so we decided to discontinue our membership and continue in strength and conditioning. And once we did that, we felt the wrath from the politics of the hierarchies of the sport. Ultimately, we look at CrossFit as a sport. Similar to Kleenex and Xerox, the word CrossFit to us means competitive fitness. Sure, they don't want us to use that terminology, so we'll call it competitive fitness. But to call an athlete out and threaten them to say that they shouldn't come and compete, it's tacky, it's criminal, and we're not going to stand for it. So we're going to just continue to do what we do and push forward.
Well, this sport has just undergone such a large transformation in the last couple of years. It's really exciting to see it take off. You can't stop a movement like this. People are going to continue to train like this. They want to be educated, and they want to be more fit. CrossFit should be just absolutely happy that they've really started this fitness revolution. But at the same time, you know, I think they need to welcome the fact that people are going to have other ideas. People want to welcome new challenges, and whether it's new competitions or new training methods, you're always going to get your offshoots and your hybrids and stuff. So, you know, they've got to be proud that they set all this in motion.
Yeah, I think their legacy would be much greater had they claimed that they created a sport instead of it being an 8-letter word that you can't use unless you're an affiliate. So we'll see what happens in the future, but I definitely agree with you that in order for this movement to continue and grow, there can't be barriers on it.
You know, from a personal standpoint, this is really interesting. There were a handful. I coached track and field at Arizona State University, and there were a handful of track and field athletes that came to the first day of practice at ASU very, very fit. And I said, what did you guys do all summer? And they all said that they were doing CrossFit type training to get ready for the season. I mean, they look fantastic, whether it's javelin throwing, pole vaulting, or sprinting. These athletes showed up and they were really ready to go. So I thank the movement for that.
Definitely. Dan, you're seeing this for the first time at this level. This many athletes competing on the floor at a time. What was your specialty for training? What did you enjoy most? Squatting, running sprints, plyometrics, even isometrics. What was your thing?
You know, I was mostly a plyometrics guy. I was naturally a fast runner. I was a pretty good lifter. I was never a heavy squatter or a power clean guy, but I had good technique, so I could manage my way through a lot of the weight room with just good technique. But I saw the most benefit to track and field when I was good at plyometrics. My shot put was good. My starts in the 100 meters were really good. I was very explosive because I could do plyometrics very well.
Decathlon training. Run us through what that split looked like. I know if I have to practice more than 10 movements in the gym at a time, I lose focus, I lose dedication. I know I can focus on my Olympic lifting for a couple weeks, or back to my strength, or back to my conditioning, but how do you train for 10 different events?
Well, you train for 10 different events by looking at each individual event separately. When I was a sprinter, it was time to be a sprinter. When I threw the shot put, it was time to be a thrower. And I was really able to take on the personality of each one of those different events. I would even change clothes so that I looked like a javelin thrower as compared to a high hurdler. You know, whether it's just putting on wristbands or changing your singlet to a t-shirt. But I really thought I had to have multiple personalities to do my sport well, and I could see where the same would go for an event like this.
What's your nutrition like these days?
Well, these days, I eat whatever I want, but I train hard so I can eat whatever I want. When I was a competing athlete, you know, for me more than anything, it was just getting enough food in me. And maybe I didn't eat the smartest, but we didn't know as much about it in the 90s and, you know, the 90s and the late 80s as we do now.
Dan O'Brien, gold medal Olympic decathlon athlete from 1996. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Now that I know you're here in Scottsdale, we'll definitely get to know a lot more of you.
Well, this is my second event that I've been like this in the last month. You can guarantee I'll be at more of these. Not sure I'll be out there as a competitor. You never know. I'm 47. You know, they got an age group for me.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They do. We're having an event in Maui, June 7th and 8th, SICest of the Pacific West, and we will have a Masters division. Unfortunately, being over 40 means you're a master. But, yeah, we'd love to have you come out there. 2-day competition. Day 1 will be paddleboarding, running, swimming, and then day 2 will be barbell gymnastics.
Hawaii, my wife's Hawaiian, Maui. Wow, how do I turn that one down, right?
Yeah.
All right, what's that? I got 6 months to get ready?
6 months, yeah.
All right.
All you got to practice is your paddleboarding at Tempe Town Lake.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me. This is really impressive what you guys are pulling together, and from the standpoint of the live streaming webcast, very, very impressive. Thank you for your contribution to the world of athletics.
Thank you, Dan.
In this heat, in lane 1, you've got Great Times CrossFit, Team GTX in lane 2, CrossFit Now, lane 3, Copperhead CrossFit, lane 4, CrossFit Arizona, CrossFit Ocotillo, and CrossFit Dixie, a little mismatch in lane 5, CrossFit Solutions, lane 6, team from Urban Warfit here in Scottsdale, lane 7, CrossFit Blade, lane 8, CrossFit Flagstaff, lane 9, SICest Fitness, lane 10, CrossFit Flagstaff, they came down from the mountain in lane 11, CrossFit Now, lane 12, and 3 teams from CrossFit Full Strength, lanes 13, 14, and 15. If you missed the interview with gold medalist Dan O'Brien, check the archives later. You won't want to miss this interview discussing politics in the sport of competitive fitness.
Yeah, thank you, those guys out there who are joining us from the live stream. We've got your comments, the good ones, the bad ones, and the ugly ones, but please understand that we are working tirelessly to give you the highest HD quality possible while giving you play-by-play analysis from everybody here at SICFit. This place is a full packed house. They said there's over 15,000 people here, and we haven't even hit noon yet. So, 12:07, excuse me, Ammon. I'm pretty excited about workout 2 for the pros coming up. It's going to be a smoker. I want to see if anybody can go under 2 minutes. It is a workout consisting of 10 power cleans at 155 pounds and 10 bar over burpees. It's a stinger, it's a burner, it's going to hurt, it's going to be fast and hard, and it's going to be pretty exciting.
Absolutely. We've talked to a couple athletes that feel they can go 2 minutes or 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see, especially after that first workout where they put in quite a bit of work in a short amount of time.
Remember, this isn't just for fun. These athletes are competing for prize money. A huge thank you to Nutriforce Sports for being such a valuable sponsor for the SICest of the Southwest, too. They are not only the t-shirt sponsor for the event, but also the prize money sponsor, giving out $15,000 to the winner of today's competition. Nutriforce sports products are the first and only complete supplement line developed for the fitness athlete. Using the latest scientific advances, Nutriforce Sports has been able to create products which will help athletes reach their maximum potential. Each product has been developed by our in-house formulation team in conjunction with some of the top functional fitness athletes in the world.
So if you're just tuning in, interesting about this $15,000 put up by Nutrisport. First place gets $3,500. Second place gets $1,000. Third place gets a high five and a smile.
All right, guys, we're going to take another break here. The next heat is going to be coming out in just a moment, but they're going to get us an HD cable that's thicker than Danny Nichols' calf. We'll be back in just a moment.
Okay, that's good. Fiona needs to be right here next to you. Right
Yeah, hardwired. I think we could just push this thing to its capacity. Like, it's all I can do, you know?
Check. All right, Stacy, heat number 9. teams. Full Strength has 2 teams. Actually, Gail Shalou and the Full Strength crew has 6 teams competing here today, right up there with Lisa Ray and her gym up in Flagstaff also having 6 teams here today. Other teams in this heat: Kingman, CrossFit Blur, SHC Fitness, Surprise, East Valley, Incendia, Flagstaff, Surprise, The Cell, Ammon Woods team, home of CrossFit Superstition, Forever Strong, and Northwest Tucson. This is the last intermediate team, event 1. It's 12:30, and we've got a lot more action left for today. Aqua Hydrate, another sponsor for SICest of the Southwest, delivering supercharged hydration with Aqua Hydrate, a high-performance water without the sugar and calories found in sports drinks. Aqua Hydrate's performance is electrolyte high and higher pH of 9. Give you the key elements your body needs to perform at the top of your game, no matter what. Available at GNC, Whole Foods, and other fine retailers. Stacey, have you had any Aqua Hydrate today?
I have. Actually, Luke, it's the one thing that keeps you going when you're on your feet, laying around the floor for 12 hours.
Yeah, I make it rain Aqua Hydrate when I'm at home. I don't drink alcohol, so anything non-alcoholic for me, and I like to party with it. Aqua Hydrate, shampooing my hair out at least once a week. My wife gets upset, says it's too expensive, but hey, you got to live this lifestyle. Jade McLeod with the United States Air Force on the mic. Jade's nickname is Big Bruiser in the softball world. He can hit more home runs than anybody else in the entire Air Force division of competitive softball. We might see him next as our first softball ambassador. What do you think about that, Stacey?
I think that Jade, as an ambassador for softball, would do a fantastic job, especially if he doesn't mind getting called Big Bruiser every time I see him.
Number 9, SICest of the Southwest, last intermediate team. Ammon Woods, coach of the Cell, had to head out from in front of the microphone to go help coach his team competing here today. Big shout out to Dan Lennon running all of the equipment here at SICest of the Southwest. Dan, another Air Force guy coming out to us from Luke Air Force Base, along with Sherry and a few others. Give a shout out to the Luke Air Force Base, guys. Thanks for coming out and showing your pride today.
Everybody, this is Stacy coming to you from SICest of the Southwest 2. We've got Heat 9, the last heat of the intermediate teams working right now. We've got in lane 1, CrossFit full strength. In lane 2, CrossFit full strength. In lane 3, CrossFit works. Lane 4, Kingman CrossFit. Lane 6, CrossFit Blur. Lane 7, SHC Fitness. Lane 8, CrossFit Surprise. Lane 9, East Valley CrossFit. Lane 10, CrossFit Incendia. Lane 11, CrossFit Flagstaff. Lane 12, CrossFit Surprise. Lane 13, The Cell, home of CrossFit Superstition and their gritty pride. And lane 14, CrossFit Forever Strong. And finally, in lane 15, CrossFit Northwest Tucson.
CrossFit full strength. 4 parts to this workout. Team workout, 15-minute time cap, 4 rounds of each of these couplets. 5 deadlifts, 10 burpee over barbell, 3 squat cleans, 10 pull-ups, 5 deadlifts, 15 hand release push-ups, and 5 deadlifts, 10 pull-ups. James OPT Fitzgerald deciding to use the same weight, same bar for all 4 movements. Teams have to decide who does what, and then they must finish that part of 4 rounds before touching their teammate's hand and continuing on. I like this, Stacy. I think this is cool. I love team workouts, but this one has a certain kind of flavor to it where they're using the same equipment, same weight.
It certainly makes it interesting, Luke. In the past, we have seen workouts where bar changes when you're moving between men and female athletes. We've seen where the weight can be considerably different, and in this case, everybody's using the exact same weight. So we're also seeing a relay style here, which certainly adds another part of the flavor, having that tag off between athletes. James really held no punches in designing these workouts. They're unique. They're certainly different. I imagine that the athletes from SICest of the Southwest, too, will not soon forget them.
Yeah, coming up next are going to be the RX teams. Weights are a little bit different. The weights are 205 pounds throughout. So ladies will have to deadlift 205, guys will have to squat clean. And that's pretty much the order that we've seen so far. You're going to see the female start off with the deadlift and the burpee over barbell. You're going to see the guy do the squat clean at the heavier weight. You're going to see probably, depending on the female, doing the deadlift push-up or the deadlift pull-up. Now remember, we're watching intermediate athletes here, and these guys are squat cleaning 155. They're doing multiple kipping and butterfly pull-ups. So, you know, the intermediate category has definitely progressed. Cody Clearwater in the house is one of our judges here.
You know, Luke, we've talked a lot about strategy coming into play. These intermediate heats have been able to watch other teams go through this particular workout. So what kind of advantage does that give to these teams now?
It's always an advantage when you can watch somebody in front of you. I made the mistake, or I was unfortunately given the mistake. My first real experience in competition on a grand level was at the sectionals before the Open even existed in 2009 in a parking lot in San Diego. Workout 1 was pretty simple. It was 21 deadlifts at 225, 15 kettlebell swings, and a 400-meter run, 3 rounds. Well, I went first, and I blew out that first round out of the water. I think I lapped somebody. But by the time the second round actually sunk in, I was done. I was destroyed. Looking back on it now, I didn't know enough to strategize that workout, but it plays a huge role in the success. Team captains of these teams: Gail Shalhoub, Lucy Slate, Nicole Stapleton, Alex Stewart, Michelle Stoltz, Heather Sweeney, Aaron Humphreys, Sierra Uribe, Brian Veda, Lindsay Wagner, Deanna Wyest, Ammon Woods, Daniel Yox, and Maggie Tomlinson. Got to give a shout out to my boy Mark Deshane of Little Beasts. My kids are definitely little beasts, and Mark Deshane's program, the Little Beast characters with Skeeter the Cheater, are absolutely amazing to teaching young kids fitness and nutrition. So I'm starting to get a lot of people asking about our Paradise event in Maui next summer, June 7th and 8th. SICest of the Pacific West, a 2-day competitive fitness competition on the beaches of Ka'anapali. We will be teaming up with the Sheraton Resort, 808 Boards, and CrossFit Lahaina. I got to give a shout out to my boy Kavika, my girl Sabrina, and of course Anthony and the entire Lahaina CrossFit team. Maui no Ka'oi. Look forward to being out there and competing. I've always wanted to do a competition in Maui. I grew up out there. I was raised out there. I went to Punahou, same school as our current president, Barack Obama. And I'm a huge fan of everything from the lifestyle to the family to the fitness and, of course, the beaches and ocean. Maui is my second home, and hopefully one day it will be my first. Stacy, you ever been to Maui?
Never been to Maui, but I've been to Oahu.
Yeah, that's not Maui.
It's not Maui, but hopefully at the Pacific West competition, I'll be able to take in Maui and fall in love with it the way you have. Luke, what made you decide to do the event the way you did? Because it's a 2-day, 2-person team event, and they're very unorthodox workouts and movements. So what came into that thought process?
Well, I like teams. Teams of 4 can sometimes get complex. Teams of 6 can get really complex. There's too many moving pieces. I like having a right-hand man. I like having a goose to my Maverick. I really, really enjoy having a co-partner, a teammate, a soulmate if I'm going to be competing with my wife. But this allows people to have somebody else besides themselves to compete with. We're going to go all male, all female, and then of course a co-ed team. Because it's a resort event, it's in Paradise, we definitely want to see couples come out and compete. Husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, doesn't matter. But it really is going to be one of the only competitions I've ever seen where you'll have 2 days, and day 1 will be on the beach and in the ocean. I don't think I've ever seen another competition like that. You know, I didn't create this sport, but I'm definitely a big fan of it, and I consider myself to be an innovator of it. Last year, we were the first ones to bring out the bar over rower burpee, or the burpee over rower. I thought that was pretty cool. This is the first competition that'll have the round robin 10-8, 6-4, 2-1 winner. And next year, we plan on being the only Paradise fitness competition out there. So we're going to cap the signups at 200. Maui's obviously a small island, but we want to keep it quaint. We want to get to know everybody competing. We want to really get a chance to go out, go to a luau at Old Lahaina Luau, watch our good friends dance, go to one of our friends' restaurants. Got to also give a shout out to one of my former coaches, Coach Jen D, now formerly known as Jersey Jen, is now Kihei Jen. So if you're out there in Maui, Jen, how's it, girl? We miss you, and we look forward to seeing you next June in Maui.
All right, well, I'm going to go get a paddleboard in my pool and start doing some work for that.
Paddleboards will be provided by 808 Boards. They are one of our main sponsors. Muscle Driver USA will also be our main equipment sponsor. I know they're pretty excited about getting out to Maui, and we're going to take as many people as we possibly can. Our kids are coming. We'll have to get a babysitter. We'll figure that out. There's a lot of them out there in Hawaii. A lot of cousins, a lot of aunties. So we're planning on bringing the whole SICest team out to Maui.
Perfect. Well, registration for that event is currently open. We just wrapped up Heat 9 of the intermediate teams. We're going to be moving on to those RX teams now.
I've got Ammon back. Ammon, walk us through what happened with your team and what coaching cues you were able to give them.
So that was, for a lot of these guys, that was their very first competition at this level. So it was fun to watch them compete. They all competed really hard. We've got a few adjustments to make going to the next one. I think a couple of them got let their adrenaline get to them a little bit. A few no reps here and there, which kind of got in their head. So had to let them know that you have different judges every time you compete. You have to just be able to roll with it and not let a no rep throw your whole game off. So they did well. They did a nice job, and makes you see what they do with that jump rope.
Now, did you guys run through this event earlier in the week as to who was going to go where?
We did. We had everybody with their strong suits. They trained. Actually, I would bet they trained harder than any team together here at the event. We had them running through these drills, through their specific parts daily. We switched it up to 2-a-days going into the last couple weeks of training. So everybody is well versed in what part they're going to play.
Now, you've put on some considerable size since you really came on the scene this past year in competitive fitness. What's your training like, and what's your goals as you head into the gym every day?
I'm just trying to hold on to youth, Luke. I have put on some size. I've been focusing on Oli lifting. Obviously, you mentioned I'm getting ready for Kokoro this weekend, so that's really kind of thrown off my training regimen. I've been training a lot longer and a lot more endurance type things. I did 45 rounds of Cindy the other day for an hour. Just to kind of beat myself up. So,
did you do an AMRAP style, or did you just go out and say, I'm going to do 45 rounds and see how long it takes me?
No, I did every minute on the minute for 20 minutes, and then every minute and a half, and then every 2 minutes, and work dead hang pull-ups because I don't think kipping's allowed at Kokoro, right?
45 rounds of strict 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 squats.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not going to help for anything at Kokoro. You can't really train for that. Wet, sandy crotch. You know what? I will give you a tip that I got from one of my guys about Bag Bomb. Bag Bomb is a product that they put on horses' heels for extremely dry hooves, and it works really well for those sensitive areas. So Bag Bomb the heck out of your heels, your big toes, the back of your knees, and of course your crotch, so you don't get crotch rot.
So bag bomb the bag. All right, I'm on it. Good tips.
All right, we are getting ready to start the first pro workout. The first RX team workout of the day. Workout is the same. We're just going to be changing the weights to 205. Do you have any teams competing in this?
No, we just had the one intermediate team this year. Hopefully next year we'll have some pros teams going.
Bomb Squad, Peter Edgett, and CrossFit Fury coming out on the floor. Who else we got in this heat, Ammon?
We got CrossFit Dixie will be in lane 3. East Valley has 3 pro teams competing in this same heat. You'll see them in lanes 4, 9, and 10. We've got Allied CrossFit. We've got SICFit Scottsdale, one of your teams, Luke. They're going to be in lane 6. CrossFit Solution, lane 7. CrossFit Forever Strong, lane 8. Urban Warfit, led by Laura Dickerson, fun athlete to watch in lane 11. CrossFit 915, lane 12. CrossFit Fury Bomb, squad 2, again from Peter's gym, in lane 13. CrossFit Blur in lane 14. Should be a fast and furious heat.
Yeah, 2 of our athletes competing on this RX team also competed at the SICest of the Southwest last year. Chris Cannon and Klubo Flynn guy. She's going to throw something at me for jamming her last name up, so we're just going to call him Chris Cannon and Klubo.
Luke, what made Klubo decide to go individual rather than, or team rather than individual for this competition?
You know, she really wants to go and get back to regionals, and I think she kind of knows the only way she can do that is through team. Reason being is nothing to do with her athletic performance, but the guys going to regionals these days, they're full-time athletes. I mean, Danny Nichols is a full-time athlete. He is a pro competitive fitness athlete. He trains multiple sessions a day, 6 days a week. He eats the right foods, the right times. He supplements the right way. Everything he does is perfectly placed to get him to where he wants to be. Someone like Klubo works 40 hours a week. She has a job, she has to work, and that job is not in the gym. So she knows that a lot of my athletes do. Most of my athletes are fitness professionals in something other than fitness. They don't work in gyms. Our competition team is fun, it's good, it's energetic, but I'm not training competitive athletes to go to the games like James Fitzgerald does over at OPT.
So do you see that, Luke, as a trend that those who are professional athletes are going individuals, some of these other busy athletes are doing teams? And are you seeing a trend where these local competitions where there's a great opportunity to make some money, or for the people that are busy professionals, big families, have a lot more going on?
I would say yes, but then look at Invictus. They could all four of them easily get into the top 10 as individuals. They decided to come back as a team. I think that speaks volume about the program itself. The four guys I have on the floor, 4 out of 4 of them all have careers and jobs. They're not full-time athletes. And I let these guys know the second we sit down and talk about goals, hey, look, you're not going to go to regionals unless you quit your job and join my team as a coach. And I let them know that. We joke around about it, but it's very true. You're not going to get to the regional level. You're definitely not going to come close to the games by working a full-time job or going to school full-time, unless you have some amazing amount of dedication. Maybe you came as a collegiate or even professional athlete before. You may have a day job, 20, 30 hours a week, but you have the dedication and focus to come in the gym for 10 to 15 hours a week. And that's about the number. If you look at somebody who comes in our gym for basic life or fitness, they train 2 to 3 hours a week, on the high end 5. But a competitor is in that 5 to 10 range. A regional qualifier is in that 10 to 15 range, and a games athlete is probably 15 plus hours a week. So you got to look at that when you're putting together, what your goals in life are. Because if you walk in the gym and say, I want to go to the games, but I have a mortgage firm and 3 kids, I'm going to slap you around and say you're crazy.
Makes sense. The judges are giving us the signal now. This first heat of the pro teams will be underway.
Yeah, we're going to head on out right now. Get a little bit closer.
9, 8,
we got the top.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, and they're off. My man, Sensei, already done with the deadlifts. On to the bar over burpees. Tyler Warren, black belt in karate, and SICest Scottsdale coach. But he's also the only male working right now as well, so we'll see how that strategy plays out. Top 3 teams in the intermediate division right now: Kingman, Northwest Tucson, and 623.
I don't even think he's got any CrossFitters working in sync here. Secret pick on the board.
Each athlete must complete 4 rounds of the couplet. The couplet, part 1, 10 deadlifts and 5 bar over burpees.
SICest wrapping it up. Right for Abby, starting CrossFit. Looking for the squad to get dirty. Once you got the second, let's go.
Excuse me. Team Workout RX, 4 rounds, 205-pound deadlift 5 times, 10 burpee over barbells. Athlete 2, same thing, 4 rounds, 205-pound squat clean 3 reps, and 10 chest to bar chin-ups. Athlete 3, 5 deadlifts, again at the same weight, and 15 hand release push-ups. And movement 4, 205-pound deadlift times 5, and 10 chest to bar chin-ups. Chris Cannon of SICest Scottsdale on the pull-up bar, knocking out rounds. They seem to be the only team strategizing with the men first. We'll see if this plays out.
Got CrossFit Dixie in lane 3, gnarly sponsored athlete. He's working through his squat cleans right now. He's got 3 squat cleans followed by chest to bar pull-ups.
Dixie's going back for round 2. SICest coming up 4. CrossFit number 5. Going neck to neck with palm squat. 1 of CrossFit Gary.
So all teams still working on their squat cleans and chest to bar pull-ups.
SICest's going back for 3 over here. He's running CrossFit in lane 9. Getting rid of the 4. CrossFit Gary wants round 2 in lane 2. Going neck and neck with Dixie.
Ammon, what do you think about this combination? We're seeing things with heavy deadlifts and heavy squat cleans and then a chin up over there on the bar. What's that combination like? What do these athletes have to make sure that they're focused on?
Yeah, again, this is a grip smoker, right? These guys have to make sure that they have enough in the grip to be able to get those chest to bar pull-ups. The other thing that's interesting about this workout and some of the workouts you've seen already is there's no weight difference between the men and women. Right? The women have to be able to lift just as much weight as the men. So it makes it interesting and really levels the playing field. You got to have some strong girls to be able to compete in this division. Stacy, if you're coaching a team, what are you telling them to prepare for this workout?
Man, I don't know. It's a combination of everything. You know, we got to make sure in this particular case, it has to be about form. We have to make sure that we're paying attention to all the working parts here. So there's no time to get no rep for any of these movements. Making sure that squat drops below that parallel line. Making sure on those deadlifts they're heavy, that their back stay tight, that the core is engaged. Making sure they get the chin over the bar on every single one of those chin-ups. There's absolutely no time to get no reps. So it's make sure that you're doing it clean, make sure you're doing it accurately, and don't put anything out there that you wouldn't be proud of in any other event.
So we got Eddie Aguirre here in lane 1 from CrossFit Preferred. Eddie looks like he's put on some size here as of late. Looks like he's handling that weight pretty well. We'll catch up with Eddie maybe later and see how he's been training and what he's been doing to put on some of that size.
Yeah, Eddie's been really focused on his workout, but in addition to that, it's always been about nutrition for Eddie and getting him into that elite level of performance. So he's actually paid very close attention to his diet recently, which is what he's attributing a lot of his recent success to.
Which is why he's been able to grow the sweet beard. It's all about nutrition if you want to grow a beard. Klubo now on the bar for CrossFit Scottsdale, working through those, for SICest Scottsdale, working through those deadlifts.
Klubo is an incredibly strong athlete. It's been fun to watch her train over the last several months. I know that she's recently just taken a lot of pride in being able to rep out those muscle-ups that she's been working on. She's an incredibly strong athlete here. Then we've got Nicole Miller stepping up too. Nicole is someone to pay attention to. She's not super big in terms of size, but that girl can lift some heavy weight.
Team Dixie is absolutely flying through this workout.
We've got Garrett Buxton from Allied CrossFit going through his hand release push-ups right now too. My mom is British, and from across the seas, Garrett comes to that same place. So anytime I get a chance to talk to Garrett, it's kind of like talking to a piece of home.
And we love Mrs. Snyder. We've got August Schmidt, head judge, walking around the arena here, making sure that all the judges are in sync and doing what they're supposed to be. We got Urban Warfit down there towards the end, working through the hand release push-ups.
All right, everybody out there in SICest land, this is SICest of the Southwest 2, coming to you from the Phoenix Convention Center. You are watching the first heat of the pro team division. We've got in lane 1, Buns and Guns. In lane 2, CrossFit Fury Bomb Squad 2. Lane 3, CrossFit Dixie. Lane 4, East Valley CrossFit. Lane 5, Allied CrossFit. Lane 6, SICest Scottsdale. Lane 7, CrossFit Solution. Lane 8, CrossFit Forever Strong. Lane 9, East Valley CrossFit. Lane 10, East Valley CrossFit. Lane 11, Urban Warfit. Lane 12, CrossFit 915. Lane 13, CrossFit Fury Bomb Squad 1. And in lane 14, CrossFit Blur. Watching right now as East Valley CrossFit jumps back on those deadlifts. Watching Nicole Miller making absolutely work with those pull-ups. Man, she made that look too easy. CrossFit Forever Strong did some work on those deadlifts. Back over to the bar now. Got East Valley CrossFit and SICest Scottsdale. Both of the ladies pulling that heavy deadlift weight. Luke Hyam taking a second to go and do what Luke does best, working with his team. Right here we've got Jody Ann Jarvis coming with Buns and Guns. Jody has a 1 rep max deadlift of 325 pounds. I wouldn't be surprised to see her flow through these deadlifts like it's nothing. CrossFit Fury Bomb Squad 2, taken right back to the bar. Short work of these movements. This is nothing that's easy to do. This is some heavy weight that these pro teams are moving through. With 2 minutes left with this particular heat, these athletes are working hard as they can to get through all of these movements. Buns and guns running back to the deadlift bar to rep through these heavy deadlifts. Left in this heat. Luke, one of my favorite parts.
Right now, that's my lane 6 East They're saying they want sound, so lane 7 Poor CrossFit.
My boy Louis Barragon in the house. Louis. SICest San Diego in the house, representing Louis, Allison, and Olivia in the house. Here we go. Heat number 11. Havasu Unitas 2.0 702. Vegas in the house. Never Enough. East Valley Core CSA powered by WFit. Flagstaff Allied. Unaffiliated Utah. Full Throttle. Fury. The Bomb Squad. Get Lifted. And Forever Strong. If you're just joining us, we are on Team RX Workout 1. Each athlete must do a 4-round couplet. Part 1, 5 deadlifts, 10 burpee over barbell. Part 2, 3 squat clean, 10 chest to bar pull-up. Part 3, 5 deadlift, 15 hand release push-up. And Part 4, 5 deadlift, 10 chest to bar. Working weight, 205 pounds for all 4 athletes. Very cool couplet, 4-piece part created by James OPT Fitzgerald, doing all of the programming today at SICest of the Southwest. Part 2 for all my French Canadians out there. Alessandra Pacelli is here, probably the most famous Canadian on the floor. Interviewing her yesterday, she is one of the most humble games athletes I've ever met. And I'm looking forward to seeing her compete later on today. The excitement is only going to get crazier. After the second pro workout, we will make cuts. Only the top 10 will move on. We will then have a round-robin competition where the bottom 2 will be eliminated from each of the 6 workouts until the final standing athlete will have his or her hand raised.
Luke, this team Unitas is interesting. They're a hodgepodge from a couple different gyms. You've got Marcy Lopeman, regional competitor from Nemesis. Up in Thatcher, you've got AJ from CrossFit Mesa. And then you've got Jean Francis and what's her name? The other athlete that are from Unitas. Was there an advantage to a team that trains together all the time? Or is it good athletes or good athletes?
I think it's both. I think it just depends on who we're talking about here and how long they've been competing together. In that last heat, we had Fury and the Bomb Squad, and the only person that I recognized was Marcus. Marcus has been competing in this sport for 5-6 plus years, but the other three were new, and I believe they came in first in that heat. So if the moving pieces all move really well together, regardless of their experience, I think they're going to do well. Of course, the big ticket, the prize money, $15,000 being sponsored by Nutriforce Sports. First and second place Pro RX teams this year will walk away with $2,000 and $1,000 respectively. The team intermediate, first place, will walk away with $2,000, and a second place finish in the intermediate will get you $1,000. It's the first time we've seen an intermediate team with a chance to win money, and I think that's pretty cool because these guys are not pros. They're just regular athletes. I was called a regular coach the other day on news. I don't know if anybody caught that, but after the adaptive athlete interview with Steph Hammerman as an adaptive coach, I was introduced as a regular coach. So, regular, my middle name these days. And they are off. Gym Rat wrist wraps, Melissa and Anthony Campo out of Surf City. They're first to bring the stylish rip wrap to the functional fitness community, where you can customize the band to any color and style of your liking. Stop by the booth today to check out the latest styles and designs to keep you on the bar, and you will receive 10% off your purchase at the booth. If you can't make it in, go to the SICfit.com website and click on the Gym Rat wrist wraps icon and order yours today.
Quick scoring update for the pro teams. CrossFit Dixie in first, 915 in second, and Urban Warfit in third. Again, if you're tuning in from home, you can watch the live scoring right there on SICfit.com. You can also watch the live stream broadcast on SICfit.com. Lane 2, CrossFit 2.0 is absolutely flying through this first part of the workout. We'll see if they can keep up that pace.
The head judge today is August Schmidt, and he is making very sure that all of the judges are doing their part to have clean reps. Right here in front, we see that it was required to have a 2-foot hop over that barbell. So when everything counts, we have to make sure that these reps count. So taking off and landing from 2 feet is absolutely important. Otherwise, you're going to be doing those burpees for nothing.
Never Enough CrossFit and East Valley CrossFit right next to each other in lanes 5 and 6 are going head to head.
All right, Ammon, so let's talk about this workout. When all is said and done, these athletes are going to be putting out 15 deadlifts at 205 pounds. So what kind of a toll does that take when you have to get back on the bar and do those pull-ups as well as the squats?
No, that's a lot of volume. That's a decent weight. They're actually going to be some of these guys are going to be doing 20 deadlifts and 12 squat cleans as well. That's a pretty heavy weight. So they're going to have to manage their fatigue. I'm sure most of them have probably practiced this all week long with much heavier weight. So it'll be the chest to bars, though, the chest to bar pull-ups. Even just that extra distance and having to really get that chest on the bar makes a huge difference. So it'll be interesting to see who's got the speed on the chest to bars and who doesn't.
The bar now is Allied, going through those chest to bar pull-ups, dropping off, shaking out the arms, and getting right back on that bar. They're out there in lane 10. Never Enough is up there doing a butterfly chest to bar pull-up, showing that he has plenty in the tank to get through that movement with ease.
WFIT sponsored team CSA on your screen now, working through those squat cleans, heading over to chest to bar pull-ups. Team Unitas, you got AJ Richards working through his squat cleans. Marcy Lopeman here in lane 2, regional competitor, getting ready to start her section of the workout. Marcy's impressive. She's a full-time mom and regional competitor. Kind of one of my heroes. Stacy, as a woman who CrossFits, how difficult are those hand release push-ups? Just that hand release, how much does that change the movement?
You know, actually for me, as an athlete that works in this sport, the hand release is one of the better push-ups for me to do. I actually find that little break at the bottom lets me get just a second to get pushed back in that right position. For me, I'm gonna say it's a little easier than keeping everything locked down, just touching the chest at the bottom. For some other athletes, it may be a little more rough, but we're finding that the teams out here today, not a problem at all.
I'm going to agree with you. Most of the women in my gym prefer the hand release push-ups. The guys, not so much. We like to get a little bounce at the bottom. Again, if you're just tuning in, each member of the team must complete their section of the workout before the next teammate can move on. We've got Core CrossFit here in lane 7 working through their hand release push-ups. It's interesting to see which teams have the males and the females doing which parts of the workout. It looks like a lot of the women are doing the hand release push-ups.
WFIT athlete Caitlin Visco just finishing up her deadlifts and heading over to her set of chest to bar pull-ups.
Stacy, we've got a fantastic crowd in here. This place is loud. I think this is a bigger crowd than last year. Would you agree?
Absolutely. We just watched Zach Ludlow from Great Salt Lake in lane 11 here with that unaffiliated Utah team do fast work with those deadlifts. That was absolutely impressive.
Gene Francis in lane 2, finishing his next set of deadlifts and moving over to the chest to bar pull-ups. When it comes to body weight things, Gene Francis is one of the best.
Great Salt Lake is starting to get it in here, folks. Look out, here comes Get Lifted. They're back up the bar as well.
SICest Scottsdale in lane 15, making short work of those deadlifts. plowing through the hand release push-ups. Lane 11, unaffiliated Utah, slowing down just a little bit on those chest to bar pull-ups, but with that speed on the deadlifts, that shouldn't be a problem at all.
CrossFit Fury down here, the Bomb Squad is certainly living up to their name. Watching them go through these movements is certainly a workshop in what to do during a competition. You know, Ammon, for me, watching teams is so much fun because while one athlete is competing, the other members are right there to coach them on, to cheer them on, to make sure that they're giving everything that they've got. So for me, to watch these teams go through these workouts, it's so much fun to be part of this type of energy.
You know, and that's really one of the big drivers to competitive fitness and to this sport is that it is a community, it is a team sport. You know, I noticed in the last 2 heats ago, a couple of the teams actually rallied around and cheered on the team that came in at the very end there. So it is very much a community and a team sport, even if you're not on a team. Unaffiliated Utah is done. They're checking off their scores. Core CrossFit in lane 8 is also finished, as is Unitas. Again, you're watching the SICfit.com broadcast of the SICest of the Southwest 2 here in Phoenix, Arizona, the 4th and final stop in the Europa Games Tour, where 540 athletes are competing for over $15,000 in prize money. CrossFit Flagstaff in lane 9 is just chipping away at these pull-ups. Lane 12, CrossFit Full Throttle, is a perfect example of a community as she's working through these last deadlifts. There's multiple teams cheering her on, trying to give her the little extra push that she needs to get that heavy deadlift off the ground. That deadlift's got to weigh probably twice as much as she does. Lane 7 here, Core CrossFit, finishing up as the time expires, and that is time.
Hey, let's not forget to give it up for American Force Sports. We're not only teaching sponsor event. They're giving up $15,000 for these winners, and we all know that's what they came for, folks, so let's give it up.
wheat cookies?
They're paleo cookies.
Is there any? Justin's looking for water. Is there any water left?
I think they're all out. No, they're all out. We're all out.
CrossFit Invictus has finished the workout. CrossFit Magna has finished the workout.
So Invictus is finished.
You're watching the SICest of the Southwest 2 live on SICfit.com here in Phoenix, Arizona, the fourth and final stop in the Europa Games Tour. What you're seeing right now is the teams, pro teams division, the second to last heat. Each team member must complete their section of the workout before they can move on. It's an interesting workout as well because the weight stays the same for men and women. So they have to strategize and decide who's going to do what. It's a combination of deadlifts, squat cleans, chest to bar pull-ups, and hand release push-ups. The bomb squad here in lane 3, working through their deadlifts. CrossFit Blur, finishing a set of deadlifts and moving on to the chest to bar pull-ups. Lane 7, we've got great times. This workout has a 15-minute time cap. There is 1 minute remaining. Great times in line 6, still working through it. 2.0 in lane 8. Bomb squad, lane 3. Getting aggressive on the chest to bar pull-ups. He is absolutely flying, hoping to get back to the bar and knock out some more deadlifts before getting back on the chest to bar pull-ups. There is 20 seconds left in this workout. "15 seconds for him to get as many chest to bar pull-ups as he can. Five seconds. And time.
Score sheet, obstacle course now.
That was the last one, the RX.
Yeah, I believe so.
Hernandez. Just like Aaron, but
Gotcha.
you'll never forget it now.
I'm Ammon Woods with SICfit.com, here with John Hernandez from Dodge Rams. We've got a good partnership with them. They've brought a couple trucks out here today to the SICest of the Southwest 2. As you can see, we're utilizing these beautiful trucks to help stabilize the rig. It's a nice addition. John, tell us a little bit about what you guys have going on today at your booth, why you guys are here.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have a really great setup today. We are set up right over here next to our SICfit sponsors over there, and we have given away $45,000 for a choice of any Chrysler vehicle of your choice. That includes Ram, Dodge, Jeep, Fiat, any Chrysler vehicle of your choice, as well as these beautiful bandanas. Everyone who comes on over to fill it out gets a beautiful bandana, so you can't go wrong with that.
And you guys are doing what with the bandanas? If people are wearing the bandana and you catch them, you're giving away a gift card, or what are we doing with those?
Absolutely. Everybody that we see wearing a bandana, we're doing about one every hour on the hour. Those individuals are going to be getting a $25 gift card. So if we see you with a bandana on your head, on your arm, around your waist, you're going to be getting a $25 gift card. So wear your bandanas with pride.
John, tell us a little bit about some of these trucks we have here. What do we have here on the floor? This is a new body style for Dodge, is that right?
That's right. These are the Ram 2014 1500 Rams. We have right now this one right here that we have has the Ram box on it, which is our side box. People can put some components inside. These are very popular vehicles. In our booth over there, we have the 2014 Laramie. So it's a very popular brand.
Great, thanks. Well, we're excited to have you guys out here at SICest of the Southwest too. We appreciate the partnership.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, let's get this going. Heat number 13. This is our last workout number 1 for the teams. And lane number 1, we have SICest Fitness Team A. Lane number 2, CrossFit Pakistan. Lane number 3, we have Team Nash Jacks from CrossFit Jacks. Another one of the local favorites, lane number 4, Arizona Zone East Valley CrossFit. This is our A team. Lane number 5, CrossFit Works.
Hey guys, Hammond Woods here with SickFit.com. We're out here at the SICest of the Southwest too. I've got Fast with me here from WFit Nutrition. Fast, tell us about some of the athletes you have out here.
We've got a whole slew of athletes out here today. Everybody's hanging out at the booth. We have Tennille Reed, a local favorite. Jacob Martinez, local favorite as well. We got Becky Clark, who flew down from Colorado. And none other than Jackie Perez from California came in today. Plus a slew of others. We got a bunch of others. Everybody's hanging out at the booth and doing great.
Fantastic. WFit, pretty new company. You guys have made a big splash in competitive fitness.
Trying to.
What? Tell us about some of the products you guys have and what you see as kind of your game changer, your marquee product.
So all of our products are all natural, clean nutrition is the name of the game here. So no additives, no artificial flavors. Vanilla Coconut Beyond Protein is a hydrolyzed protein, 25 grams per serving. That's a big hit, as well as our tendon and ligament product has been a big hit today as well. We're sampling at the booth, having great specials on products. We've also doing at WFitNutrition.com, we're doing a free 45 for $45 off of your order as well. Big coupons going on today.
Now, Becky was telling us last night at the athlete interviews that her favorite combination is the vanilla coconut with a splash of the ligament.
Yeah. She says it's like a shot of sunshine, summertime.
I think I'm still afraid to try it, but...
There's all kinds of combinations. All our athletes coming up with new combinations every day. They'll throw in the vanilla coconut and the chocolate together. I personally like just straight chocolate with some PB2 peanut butter, actually.
Phenomenal. Well, great company, WFit Fast. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for being part of the SickFit team.
Thanks
Appreciate it.
It's been great. Thanks, Anna.
Good.
Thank you. Thanks for work. All right, SickFit.com. I'm here with Mark Duchesne with Little Beast. So, Mark, tell us a little bit about Little Beast and who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Little Beasts are the monsters that live in your gym. They're there to help support kids' programs. The Little Beasts are basically characters that are named after different movements, as you can see in my shirt. You have guys like deadlift, like AMRAP, squat, and the girls Tabata and row. The little guy who's always cheating reps, Skeeter the cheater. So basically, it's. You want to show the shirt again? Here we go. All right. So anyway, like I said, the guys on there is basically to be able to provide kids an emotional connection, a buy-in to fitness, something they can really see, and we also have videos online and a lot of coaches' resources, and really it's there to help the coaches and parents teach their kids fitness. And so online we have like a lot of WODs, we have programs, we have videos on how to teach kids. We also have cartoons, and the little guys are teaching a real kid how to squat, how to deadlift, how to do all that kind of stuff. So that's who the Little Beasts are.
Awesome, great. And so if you were a gym owner or you have a fitness facility, how can a gym get information on how to get the Little Beasts in their box?
Oh, cool. Yeah, absolutely. What we do is you can become a Beast Box. Basically, it's there to support your kids program. You are able to license the characters to use them and on your website, on your advertising. So just send us an email. Go to littlebeast.com. Send us an email from there, and we'll show you how to do that.
Great. Awesome, Mark. Thanks so much. Little Beats are a great sponsor here at SICest of the Southwest. They have a booth here, so if you're here, make sure that you get as much of their goodies that you can get, all their great shirts for your kids. Thanks again, Mark, and thanks for being a proud supporter.
Cool. We got activity books. We have WOD journals and stuff like that, and a bunch of shirts. So we'd love to see you guys.
Great. Thanks, Mark.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Awesome. Hi, Ashley. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
SICest.com. I've got Ryan Weber with MD USA here. Ryan, thanks for coming out today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Awesome. So we have a great relationship and partnership with MD USA. It's really exciting. They have a lot of new products in development. So tell us a little bit about those products.
So we've got, I brought a wood ring with me, so we just be on the lookout here in November, December. We've got a lot of new stuff we've been testing, developing some good stuff. We've got some new rings coming out, so look for the new rings coming out, and we've got a couple of secrets, so just stay looking at our website and stay looking at the Facebook page, and we'll release these as they come out.
Wonderful. And where can someone follow your information? What website should they be going to find these new developments?
MuscleDriverUSA.com. We'll release everything on there, and then also Facebook is really big with us for social media, so if you follow our Facebook page, we put stuff on there as we release it.
Wonderful. Awesome. MD USA is also a proud sponsor of SICest of the Pacific West, June 7th and 8th. They're going to be there with all of these great developments, a lot of great products that are going to be there. Ryan, thanks so much for being here today, and thanks for sharing some of these new developments with us.
Thank you so much. East Valley CrossFit in lane 4, tearing through this workout. Using a reverse grip chest to bar pull-up.
CrossFit Works is moving on. They're into their second round. CrossFit Works and Lane CrossFit this heat.
East Valley CrossFit in lane 4 now on their third round of their second athlete. SHC Fitness A-Team in lane 1. Lane 6, CrossFit Arizona. Several teams into their squat cleans.
There's my homeboy from
tuning in live on SICfit.com for the Sickest of the Southwest 2. 540 athletes competing for over $15,000 in prize money. This is the final heat of the Pro Division teams. Several teams onto the hand release push-ups. East Valley CrossFit in lane 4 making short work of this section of the workout. East Valley CrossFit, owned by our head judge, August Schmidt. When you think of weightlifting, you think of East Valley CrossFit. Cactus CrossFit in lane 8. CrossFit Blade onto their last athlete. I'm sorry, their third exercise. Deadlifts and hand release push-ups. Get lifted in lane 7. Plowing through these deadlifts. Coming up next, we will have the second workout of the individual women. For the teams, all teams will move on to the second workout, at which point they will take the top 10 and move those through to the third and final workout.
Be sure that's on lane 4 pull-up bar, ladies. That's how you do that.
East Valley CrossFit now on their final athlete.
Cactus CrossFit making short work of those deadlifts. This race is starting to tighten up amongst 4 or 5 different teams.
Most teams now on their deadlifts and chest to bar pull-ups, their fourth and final athlete. This is a 15-minute time cap. We are almost 10 minutes in.
Emma, this is Stacy with SICfit here. I want to ask you about the magic word up. That word seems to be prevalent during every competition, every team. What is it about the word up that helps athletes get going?
You know, that's a good question. I've never even thought about that, but we do. We're always screaming up, up, up. You know, I think it's a positive word. It's the direction that we're always trying to go as human beings, as athletes, and we're trying to get the weight up so we can be finished.
So in this case, we'll put please and thank you on the table and make up the magic word.
Absolutely. East Valley CrossFit in lane 4, just about to finish. As soon as she finished these pull-ups, they are done. East Valley CrossFit finished with the workout.
A lot of the athletes representing East Valley CrossFit look oddly familiar as they went to regionals as well. We've got Emily over there. We've got Sam Leahy, known as the General. Dan Lazari, they call him the Lizard. These are guys that are just amazing to watch. The amount of strength that they all have combined is just absolutely unbelievable. I've been fortunate enough to watch Sam and Danny both in several Olympic lifting meets. And to know the kind of weight that they can throw around, it's absolutely no surprise that they were able to blow through 205 with ease.
No, it's interesting. Danny used a reverse grip on his chest to bar pull-ups the entire time. He's the only one that I've seen do that, although if there's a few athletes following suit now as their grip starts to go, but he did it right from the start, so I think that may have given him a little bit of an advantage right out of the gate.
Our individual male pro athlete, Moses Cordova, was our first trendsetter of the day, and it seems like as these other teams and athletes are able to watch what happens ahead of them, they're following in what is most effective. So I'm not surprised that people saw Danny with that reverse grip and then followed suit.
Let's watch lane 1 on the ball. See how she does. Wow, that's called chest to belly button.
Lane 1, SHC Fitness, Team A, finishing up the chest to bar pull-ups and getting plenty of height. Making the judge's job easy.
Lane 8, we got the Kansas group. They're going up on the bar here. Double undergrip. Looking nice. You guys just passed through the 13-minute mark. Got about a minute 45 to go. Every rep, every point counts.
A minute and a half left in this final workout for the teams. Up next, we're back to the women's individuals.
Final call. Heat number 1. Second workout. Women pros. Make sure you're checked in. You're going about 5 minutes. 1 minute left to go in this last and final first round of team competition.
Yeah.
30 seconds left in this competition.
Time to use that magic word right here in lane 1. Gotta get that weight up.
She's definitely got her chest to bar pull-ups, but that is a lot of weight for a little girl. And she does it. Can she get back on the bar and knock out a few chest to bar before time expires?
If it's up to her team, she'll do it. Man, that was a fantastic effort, but with that buzzer, that is the end of the heat.
can promise you one thing, it's a lot easier on
We'll bring you the updated team scores here shortly. We're going to do equipment change and get ready for the women's individual workout number 2.